I think the crowd will be a little bit more diverse this year than it's been in most years. Personally, I have lots of friends who've never attended for the simple reason that it's not been legal, and this year it is. It's also on a Saturday, and hopefully if the weather holds up, there's going to be a great ton of people that'll take advantage of the opportunity to come out and experience something that you can't experience anywhere else. Nowhere else in the world does 420 happen on the steps of its government's building. Like, it's pretty special. So I think it'll definitely be a pretty big crowd, a pretty diverse one. We had 10,000 last year. I think the RCMP had said 15 almost. So I think we're expecting that plus a little bit more. So hopefully, 15, 20,000, we'll see. The top pressing issue is that the government is telling people one thing and doing another. They have a very hypocritical way of approaching the laws, or the way that they've written them at the very least. For instance, the example that we used was Bonify is a licensed producer who was selling cannabis that had been purchased from, Joe down the block for all it really mattered, and they got in trouble for it. But did they get in trouble? Not really. They had the CEO step down, which is a great move, but there was no criminal sanctions. The folks that we talked about over at the medical dispensary, they're facing 14 years in jail. That's an extremely serious offense. So you can't tell me that one person should be treated one way and another shouldn't. That's a little bit ridiculous. So that's a perfect example of how the government treats one people one way and another a completely different way. And that's hypocrisy at its finest.
The Marijuana Party, we're unified by the idea that cannabis should not be criminalized. But under legalization, it is criminalized again, and there's even more penalties for trafficking, possession, all the driving situations. And we know through certain race data collection studies that were done in Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto, Halifax, London, Ontario, Windsor, Ontario, that, Black people, Indigenous people, people that are perceived to be Middle Eastern or Muslim are pulled over 3, 5, 7, 9 times their rate when represented in the population, and everyone uses cannabis at the same rate.